this, our economy, it would roar back to life. And for instance, on healthcare, we need bipartisan solutions to help families, not increase taxes. Remember that red reset button that America, through Secretary Clinton, she gave to Putin? Remember that? I think we should ask for that back and hand it instead to Congress and say, no, start all over on this healthcare scheme and pass meaningful market-based reforms that incorporate some simple steps that have broad support. The best ideas, not backroom deals, but things like insurance purchases across state lines and the tort reform that we've talked about. Common sense steps towards reform that the White House and leaders on the Democrat side of the aisle in Congress, they don't want to consider. So it makes you wonder, what truly is their motivation? What is their intention if they won't even consider these common sense, broad-based support ideas that would work? And to create jobs, Washington should jumpstart energy projects. I said it during the campaign, and I'll say it now. We need an all-of-the-above approach to energy policy. That means proven conventional resource development and support for nuclear power, and I was thankful that the President at least mentioned nuclear power in a State of the Union. But again, we need more than words. We need a plan to turn that goal into a reality. And that way, we can pave the way for projects that will create jobs. Those are real job creators, and deliver carbon-free energy. And while we're at it, let's expedite the regulatory and permitting and legal processes for on and offshore drilling. Instead of paying billions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars that now are being sent to foreign regimes, we should be drilling here and drilling now instead of relying on them to develop their resources for us. So what we've got to do is axe that plan for cap and tax, that policy that's going to kill jobs and it's going to pass the burden of paying for it onto our working families. And finally, if we're going to get serious about fiscal restraint, then we've got to make Washington start walking the walk. After putting us on a track to quadruple the deficit, the proposed spending freeze, maybe it's a start, but it's certainly not enough. As Senator John Thune said, it's like putting a Band-Aid on a self-inflicted gunshot wound. We need to go further, cut spending. Don't just simply slow down a spending spree. And we've got to axe the plans for a second stimulus when the first hasn't even been measured for any success yet. Kill the plans for the second stimulus. And beware that now that second stimulus is being referred to as a jobs bill. Now, these aren't the only ways to rein in spending, and alone they're not going to be enough. Not enough to tackle the insane debt and the deficits that we face, but they are a good way to start and to show that we're serious about getting our financial house in order. Now, like a lot of you perhaps, I have spent the last year thinking about how to best serve. How can I help our country? How can I make sure that that we're in a position of nobody being able to succeed when they try to tell us to sit down and shut up? How can we best serve? In 2008, I had the honor, really of a lifetime, running alongside John McCain. I look at him as an American hero. And nearly 60 million Americans voted for us. They cast their ballot for the things that we are talking about tonight: lower taxes, smaller government, transparency, energy independence, and strong national security. And while, no, our votes did not carry the day, it was still a call to serve our country. Those voters wanted us to keep on fighting and take the gloves off, and they wanted common sense conservative solutions, and they wanted us to keep on debating. And each of us who is here today, we're living proof that you don't need an office or a title to make a difference. And you don't need a proclaimed leader, as if we're all just a bunch of sheep and we're looking for a leader to progress this movement. That is what we're fighting for more, it's what we're fighting about, it's what we believe in, and that's what this movement is all about. When people are willing and to meet halfway and stand up for common sense solutions and values, then we want to work with them. And in that spirit, I applaud independents and Democrats like Bart Stupak, who stood up to tough partisan pressure, and he wanted to protect the sanctity of life and the rights of the soon-to-be born. I applaud him for that. When we can work together, we will. But when the work of Washington violates our conscience, and when the work and efforts in Washington, D.C. violate our Constitution, then we will stand up and we will be counted, because we are the loyal opposition. And we have a vision for the future of our country too, and it is a vision anchored in time-tested truths. That the government that governs least governs best. And that the Constitution provides the best roadmap towards a more perfect union.